Why are the younger generations not wanting to have kids? We need you guys. We need a community of support. We cannot be the only ones out here tired and overstimulated. You guys are just selfish. You are selfish.
The best and only way to 100% guarantee you do not continue the cycle of abuse is to not have kids in the first place.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in 2026, there's a brewing debate amongst people that the younger generation no longer want to have kids. It's been popping up on the internet. People have been talking about it. A lot of young people are coming out more and more and more and talking about how they are not very interested in having kids in 2026. And one question that comes to mind is why? Why are young people no longer interested in having kids? Now, some young people have cited the economic situation of the world, the lack of planning, and the misuse of resources in the world right now. Some people have also cited the inability to even take care of themselves, not to talk of bringing in another kid and having to, fend for that kid when you yourself as an individual is struggling to even make ends meet. So on today's episode, we're going to be looking at what is influencing these young people to make this decision not to have kids. And we have series of videos. Let's get into the video and we'll be right back.
Why are the younger generations not wanting to have kids? We need you guys. We need a community of support. We cannot be the only ones out here tired and overstimulated. You guys are just selfish. You are selfish and you are...
Yo, as phone, we don't want near ons wil nie ernyagi. We don't want.
My driving force for not bringing kids into this world is that kids are extremely easy to traumatize. And after you fuck a kid up, they will be fucked up for life. You can do all the healing you want. You can try to fix what's broken, but it will never be the original. And I just can't do that to a kid. And you never really, you can try to parent as best as you can, but you cannot protect that motherfucker from everything. And everybody to a certain extent has a certain level of trauma, and you really can't get around it. And I think the human experience, it's traumatic as fuck, and I just can't bring a kid into that.
You know what I find super annoying is whenever I'm having a conversation with someone and the topic of kids gets brought up and they're like, oh, do you want kids? I'm like, no. And they're always like, and I'm like, I don't like kids. I don't like them. I find them annoying. I find them gross. I find them overstimulating. They're expensive. I don't want them. I enjoy coming home to a clean house. No one's touched my stuff. Everything's organized. And I was like, you'll change your mind when you're older. Oh my God, no, I won't. I had so many people like, oh my God, you'll just change your mind. I've been saying I don't like kids since I was a kid. I've been saying I do not want kids since before I even really knew, right? I've been saying the exact same thing. I don't want kids. I don't like kids. I don't like kids in public. They aren't even my kids. And I'm not going to go out in public and be like, dude, take your kid home. I get it. Public is a space for everyone, right? So I'm not going to go out and complain about your kid in public. But I don't want one in my own home. Okay? I don't know what this obsession is. Everyone, you'll change your mind when you're older. Change your mind when you're older. I don't want kids. Stop arguing with me about this. Oh my God.
I don't think it's in the place of anybody to try to convince people to have kids or try to cajole people. Don't you think they thought about it before they made the decision? For some people, having kids is the default thing to do. So it does not make sense to them when someone tells them, oh, I've decided not to have kids. They think something is wrong with you. What comes to their minds first is to help correct that mentality, correct that mental illness from you. Because to them, it does not make sense.
Having a baby in 2026 is mind-boggling to me because, what world are you seeing that I'm not seeing? You know what I'm saying? What is it that is giving you hope that I'm, what am I not getting here? Because I am 25 in 2026. I would hate to be 25 in 2051. Can you imagine? Would you want to be 25 in 2051? If your answer is no, you should not have the child. That is my opinion. If you don't want to be the age that you are now in the year that your child is going to be the age that you are now, don't have that child. Because that means deep down, what the fuck this is. And that this world is likely going to get worse. So don't bring your child into chaos. Love them enough to leave them as an idea. Okay? No, it's not thoughtful. It's not kind to be having children in 2026.
Can someone answer this question? And I'm genuinely being serious about this. Like in this day and age right now, in this current state of the world, what are the benefits of having kids? Like I personally try to think of reasons of why I would want to have a kid, and I genuinely do not have one solid reason on why I would want a kid. Like I know things could change down the road, like later on. Like of course, like we change our minds and we think differently or whatever down the road with certain situations and stuff happen. But as of right now, today, I don't see the point in having kids. And I personally feel like a lot of people don't plan on having kids. Like you link up with a girl or something like that, you've been talking to a girl for a minute, y'all end up doing something, not wearing protection, and next thing you know, she have a kid or something like that, or might want to keep a kid, and now you have a kid. But I don't feel like a lot of people plan their life strategically and build it up to the point where like, okay, we're planning for a kid. And I just think a lot of people end up having kids when they're not ready to have kids, and they're still a kid themselves and don't know how to take care of a kid or raise that kid up correctly. I don't know. I just feel like it could be selfish in a way, like having a kid and not being well prepared for it. So I don't know. In my opinion, I just don't see too many benefits of having kids in this day and age.
And if I'm going to say something about this, I would say statistically, majority of parents did not plan for the future of their kids. They did not have proper plans put in place before having kids. And I think this is one of the major problems the world has. And that is why there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of regret around parenthood. There's a lot of abuse, trauma, all the negative things around children, family. Why? Because a lot of parents just had kids because it was what society expected them to do. They had no prior plans. They had nothing put in place. They had no money or strategy on how to raise those kids put in place before having those kids. So when the kids come, it looks like their life is over. It looks like a burden upon them. Most people have kids for their own selfish reasons. A lot of people, if you ask them why they want to have kids, it's for the sake of company. It's for the sake of wanting someone to show them unconditional love, or someone that would give them attention, or someone that would take care of them at old age. It's all selfish reasons. No empathetic reason, I would say. If proper thinking was put into parenthood, most people would not have the number of kids they have now. Most people would be child-free, and most people would just be enjoying their lives, not even thinking about having kids. Yeah.
I was around the age of 14 or 15 when I decided I didn't want kids. You know, people asked me then, oh, you're going to be married one day, you're going to have kids one day. And I was like, no. And then as far as kids go, I didn't want kids. There's lots of reasons why I didn't want kids at that time, or why I thought I didn't want kids. And the reason that still holds and stands today is I just took a look around and I saw where we were. I saw what society was doing, what people were doing, and where we were going. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to bring a kid into this. In this society, the way that it is, how built up things are, how distracted people are, just how disconnected we are from nature, from ourselves, from one another, the issues with the relationships, the divorce rates, the family issues, the relationship struggles, the health struggles, physically, emotionally, mentally, the addiction problems that so many people have, just the way that people think. Right? Like I could just see it all, even at that age. I could just see where we have come from, where we are, where we are going. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not bringing a life into this.
The best and only way to 100% guarantee you do not continue the cycle of abuse is to not have kids in the first place. Look, fact of the matter is, almost every single parent who has ever had a kid said to themselves they were going to do better than their parents. And guess what? Most of the time, not really. Because while those parents typically cover the bases where they were traumatized, they unfortunately introduce a whole new level of trauma that they've never dealt with before. For example, my dad grew up super poor, dirt poor, and that really fucked him up. And as he got older, one of the things he promised to himself was he was going to get richer. He was going to become rich. And, well, he is. The problem is he didn't deal with everything else that came with being poor and coming from a shitty father And fam, this has led to him being extremely emotionally stunted, which created so much tension between me and him. Like, we fought throughout my entire childhood because, well, yes, he did objectively provide a better life for me than what he grew up with. He still didn't address the abuse problem, the psychological trauma of it all. And that trickled down to me. And, well, yes, I can go to therapy, and yes, I do think I could do better than my dad, like everyone else does. There's still no guarantee that I will do better, no matter how hard I try. So, that means the best guaranteed way to not continue this cycle is to not have kids.
Now, I'm going to say something that may ruffle a lot of feathers, but I'm going to say it anyway. I personally think that having kids right now, especially if you're a young person, is at best illogical and at worst borderline negligent. And I do not mean that in a judgmental way. I'm just speaking the facts. Let's look at the world that we're living in right now. We live in a world where there's, people can barely afford their rent. People can't really afford to buy groceries. If people can't even afford to support themselves, how can they afford to support another human being? It just doesn't make sense to me. Aside from the economic factors that make raising a kid hard, you also got to take into, account societal expectations as well. If you're a woman thinking about having kids, there's a high likelihood that you're going to be the one that's solely responsible for raising the kid, despite having a partner. You're most likely going to be the one feeding and cleaning up after the kid, taking the kid to the doctor, and just basically being the primary caregiver for that child with pretty much no help. So taking all that into account, having a kid right now does not seem like the greatest idea. We live in a world that is burning from climate change. We don't even know what the world's going to look like in the next decade or so.
Naturally, it makes no sense that you as a person are not enjoying your life and somehow you feel like the next thing to do is to bring kids into your world. I think naturally, by nature, even if we look at the plants and the animals, they usually mate when there is abundance, when there's, plentiful for everybody. That's when naturally living beings tend to multiply. So if you're not living in abundance, if you're not living in happiness, harmony with your environment, it does not make any sense for you to want to bring in kids, offspring into the world. You get it? Because I believe the natural order of things is when there is abundance and prosperity. That's when multiplication should happen. That's when you would want to bring kids into the world to come and enjoy that plentifulness and bountifulness with you. So it makes no sense that you're struggling. You look at your environment, you look at the economic situation, and you're not happy about it. And yet somehow your default settings is to bring in new kids into the world. Let's actually be logical about these things and let's be empathetic towards the next generation. If you know that you're not enjoying your life, if you know that you're not enjoying abundance in your life, then don't bring kids into the world. Kids prosper in abundance in a happy home where things are favorable, where there are happy adults that want them, and not parents that just, conform to societal pressure and are struggling themselves. But somehow they feel like, oh, maybe the kids are going to bring the blessing. There's no magic nowhere. That doesn't work in any world.
You know what's wild? It's not that we don't want kids. It's just we're scared to bring them into this world. I saw this comment on my last video. Look at this. Over 34,000 people like this. That hit me because it's real. That's deep. The truth is, we're not anti-kids. We're anti-chaos. I mean, look around. Cost of living is crazy. The planet's in crisis. Mental health is at an all-time low. Somehow we're supposed to smile and bring new life into this? I wanted to expound on that comment because it's not a lack of love. It's the fear of signing someone up for a fight they never asked for. I mean, you never asked to be born. You were just put here on earth and had to pay bills. Parents told us just to work hard and everything will work out, but they never told us how heavy this world would get. I mean, we're still trying to heal ourselves emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So the thought of trying to guide someone else when you're still finding your own footing just creates a whole nother challenge. This isn't just about money, it's about energy. It's about not wanting to pass down anxiety, survival mode, and a broken system to someone who's innocent. The weight of that thought is real. So when you see a whole generation saying they don't want kids anymore, it's not cold-heartedness. It's a desperate hope that maybe the world will heal before we bring life into it.
One time, someone on my main account asked me, why do you want to get married or have kids? And I just replied, oh, I have no desire to. But the real reason is, guys, I cannot fathom living with someone and they're just fiending after your body like 23 hours out of the day. 24. Like, that just sounds like a nightmare. Like, you can't do anything without like someone like literally like an animal feeding off of your energy and your body. Like, and then like you like, what if I don't want to have sex for months? What if I don't want to do that? I'm gonna tell that bitch to go get it from somewhere else. Like, I don't and that's the real reason why I can't be married, because I'm just like, sometimes I want to be left the fuck alone. I don't want to be touched.
One thing I've noticed with Gen Z hating the idea of having kids, like totally getting offended by the idea of having kids, is not just because of having kids itself, but also because of the way motherhood has been portrayed for the last decades. It's often been the mother doing most of the work, or it's struggling mother, or it's single mother, or it's mothers that are like, oh, I wish I could stay at home with the kids, but I have to work hours and hours. It's always fucking something, even on this app. And I know social media isn't reality, but even on this fucking app, the happiest couples, and they have the most beautiful house, and then they are wealthy, and then it's like, but the guy cheats, and now they have to get a divorce, even though they were a happy family. People don't want the situation. Like, people just don't want the situation. They don't want the conflicts. They don't want the headache. Not just the child itself, but everything surrounding it that you just don't have control over it. Because I feel like if everyone had control over it and they knew that they would have the money and they knew they would have the husband and the husband would be faithful and the husband would help, I think a lot more people would consider having kids. But it's just all of the headache and everything around it. It's just like, ugh, like, never fucking mind. Like,
someone who's a part of Gen Z, and I would say I had like a fairly good life. I don't want to have kids because I fear like I can't provide the life that my parents gave me. And when I think about it, it's like my parents didn't even have college educations. You know, they just started working early on in their 20s, had me along the way, and they were able to purchase a home. They were able to have 2 vehicles. They were able to take me on like a vacation. Throughout the year in the summer times, I was able to do trips to amusement parks. Throughout the weeks, I was able to do martial arts, Cub Scouts, get ice cream, you know, eat out a couple times. I had nice clothes, sneakers, things like that. You know, they sacrificed and they put me through private school and high school. And nowadays, like, I'm a homeowner and I'm looking at like daycares, and like the cost of daycare is equivalent to my mortgage. And it's like, dang, it's like I have college degrees, I work a lot, and you telling me that like I'm struggling for the bare minimum. It's like, oh no. And my parents had multiple kids. Like one kid right now would literally ruin my life.
Recently, I don't know how, but somehow I've just been talking to a lot of married people, young married couples, been married from 1 to 4 years. And it's been a whole lot of stories about struggles, of difficulties. And I've had all of them telling me, baby girl, enjoy your life. Like, don't let no one hurry. Just 2 days ago, even where I went to like make my hair, it was all married women. And they were literally telling me, don't rush into marriage. In fact, as a matter of fact, one of the married women, she has 2 kids with her husband. She was telling me in her next life, she's never, ever going to get married. They were literally talking about the struggles that they are facing with a lack of money, you know, having to split your money amongst the kids, how they are, like, all the difficulties. It's just stories upon stories, and just crazy stories upon crazy stories. And so, like, let's be realistic. Averagely, most people are struggling in the world. The millionaires and the people that have excess money, they are not very much. It's just a few people that have that kind of money that they would not even budge when the going gets hard. But when it comes to the financial part of taking care of kids, things are not how they used to be during the time of our parents. If we're being honest with ourselves, things are now more expensive. If you want to be a parent, you need to know that it is not business as usual.
Anytime I consider whether or not I would want children in the future, the one thing that is always so off-putting to me is the fact that I can't live losing my self-identity. Like, I feel like so often women, specifically in the patriarchal system, are only viewed as mothers. Like, as soon as you become a mother, every other facet of your self-identity and expression is stripped away from you. And I am such a complex person. I have a very good self-image and perception of myself. I am multifaceted, and I cannot be reduced to just being someone's mom. Like, that would actually send me over the fucking edge.
And I ain't even gonna hold y'all. In 2026, I don't want to see no pregnancy announcements. Not none. Absolutely none. And I know that may sound a little harsh and maybe even a little insensitive, but I really don't give a damn. I said what I said. This is the worst time to be bringing a child into this world, baby. Women are under attack. Children are under attack. Do not bring kids into this mess right now. Don't. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. Don't bring kids into this. Like, I really need women to lock it down in 2026. Women of all ages, all shades, all backgrounds, all cultures. I don't give a damn who you pray to. I don't give a damn where you from. Lock it down. Close up shop. No kids. We do not have a right over our bodies right now. We don't have the choice over our bodies right now. Our kids are not safe anywhere right now. Predatorship, rape is at an all-time high. They are coming for our kids. Stop giving them children to attack. Stop. Truly, 2026, lock it the fuck down.
So I just made a very liberating, life-changing decision last year, okay? And it was, I don't want kids. I'm 27 years old and I do not want kids. And I know that we're not supposed to say this, because what if 5 years from now we want kids and then we regret it and then we've kind of just cursed our fertility? You know, these are questions that we all have. Like, I'm not allowed to say that I don't want kids because my mom gets worried if I can't bear children. And I understand that bringing life into this world is one of the most important responsibilities that we have. But also, why would I want children with men of the current generation when cheating is at an all-time high, when men do not actually live up to their masculine standards, when they are no longer reliable creatures? Do you expect me to sacrifice my body and my mental health for a lifelong commitment that I cannot get out of? Man can still get out of that commitment. You know, he can still just pay child support and not take care of a child, but I can't do that because I'm going to be the mom. So why would I want kids? And why is it so controversial to say that you don't want children? Why is it considered selfish? How can something be considered selfish when it has to do with your body? So I think I want to be child-free for the rest of my life, and I would much rather find purpose in other aspects. I would much rather find myself deeper, like get to know myself deeper every single year and discover parts of myself that I've never done before, than have children and lose myself. And yes, motherhood can be beautiful. Like, this is not me saying that you can't be happy or you can't do these things, but it just makes it challenging, and I don't think it's going to be worth it for me.
What we're not going to do is sit down here and lie that being a mother in 2026 or being a father or a parent generally is easy. No, we're not going to lie and say it's easy. It's not easy in any way. Both for the woman and the man, it's not easy because things have changed. If you want to be a parent, you're going to sacrifice. Our parents sacrificed a lot. I mean, I grew up with a single mom. I watched her do the hardest things. I watched her go through parenthood, and it was not easy on her. I think that's part of the reasons why having kids is not even in my agenda, because anything can happen. The man you have those kids with might just die. To have a reasonable man to have kids with is it's quite hard. It's quite hard. Most men don't want to have the responsibility of taking care of kids. A lot of men just want the title of dad, but they do not want the responsibility of dad. The last lady, she made very valuable points, because in this generation, apart from the fact that normally as a woman, if you have kids, the responsibility is going to be more on you. And even though the man most of the time is required to, do some certain things and provide and, be there for the woman, majority of the time, the load is more on the woman. And if he happens to dip everything, the load is going to fall back on the woman. So women are, like, by default, the ones that get affected more when push comes to shove. The man can just easily disappear, but you as a woman, you can't disappear and leave your kids. It's very difficult for women to leave their kids. So like, it's a huge responsibility to want to have kids. Motherhood, parenthood literally takes a lot from you as a person. particularly from you as a woman. I mean, the bodily changes, the fact that it is a matter of life and death, the fact that your identity changes once you have that kid. Like that child automatically shares in your identity. Your identity is going to be tied to that child forever. For example, where I'm from, once a woman has a kid, most people don't even remember that you have a name anymore. Everybody calls you mommy, your child's name. For example, mommy Joy. Maybe your child's name is Joy. Your first child's name is Joy. Everybody calls you mommy Joy or mama Joy. Like everybody, your neighbors, your in-laws, your every person that knows you, even your friends call you by the name. You know, like the child automatically takes up your identity, becomes your identity. Your autonomy in a way is gone. So yeah, there's a lot of sacrifices to be made once you become a parent. The Gen Z generation, for one, are the generation that are known to not know how to suppress their emotions. They are the generation that speak their minds, that do what they want to do. You know, they are the rebel generation, literally. If we really want more people to have kids, let's make the world a better place collectively. Let the government make the world a better place. Let mothers be treated better. Let the healthcare system get better. Let child care become affordable. But if the government wants more kids, let things be better. We need things to be better so that people can feel safe. Let the world be a better place so more people can make the decision to want to have kids. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I remain your girl Joy. And if you found this video educating or entertaining in any way, don't forget to like and share your thoughts in the comment section. And share to anyone you think might be interested in this conversation. And kindly leave your comments in the comment section and let us keep it respectful. And thank you guys for always watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a blessed day. From me, it's bye.